Cool.
Yeah, I trust you.
I've never done it before. It just works before.
Is it touchscreen? Can we?
No.
Oh.
Quite be good though, wouldn't it?
Okay. We are streaming the field audio.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Villa Seamus for the World Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships. It is finals day, and it starts with the first of our two semi-finals, with hot favourites Merica taking on Team Finland. But the Finns have come out firing. A couple of early breaks means that they're up 3-1 in this contest. Benjamin Rees joined by Ali Thomas with Merica on offence.
And what a beautiful day it is for these finals. This is here an incredibly tightly contested game thus far.
Takes advantage of the mark not being there. Deep put layout from Kale. That is the way to get the Americans back in this game. Huge put, huge snag. Wow, what a play.
My jaw is on the floor. That was an absolutely incredible layout. You could see that the Finnish defender didn't even bother going with him because he had just no faith that anyone could chase that down, but such incredible determination early in the morning from Merica.
In terms of roster sizes, there's only 11 players at this tournament for Team Finland, whereas Merica brought 19. They were saying that when they were kind of putting the team together, talking to Captain Dan Powers before the game, he was saying that, you know, normally they put out 25, 25 people they asked to come along, and maybe they'll get 15. But actually, the first, 19 people were like, yeah, we all want to go. And they were like, the thinking was, A, beach, first tournament in a while, good, more numbers are always good. And B, how good it felt a bit mean turning people down for this, because I think everyone's needed this in many ways coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being cooped up at home, not being able to go to practice or go to the gym, let alone go to a beautiful beach in Sardinia, everyone really jumping at the chance.
So the Finns still carrying the advantage at 3-2, a couple of breaks to the good. Here's the underneath cut from Ristoniemi into the middle. Very congested, and everyone seems to be sitting around, so there might be a foul on the mark here. It's Mark McGee who is putting the force on. Merica trying to make use of the fact they've got extended numbers with a very loud sideline presence. Deep put is faked there by Aki Vetari. Again, faking the deep put. Timo Vasquio, who's played with a lot of these Merica players at US Great Grandmasters Club Nationals, won that tournament as part of the relic side out of the California Bay Area. And now Vasquio looks deep, but that one is not being able to be completed. It's Dawson who makes the block and immediately charges off deep, but the throw's not coming, so he'll have to work his way free back underneath.
Really fiery defense from Merica there, not giving the Finns anything really to work with.
That throw is floaty. Mannanen goes to the floor, and that means it's a comfortable catch in the end for Nolte. And then gets the disc back up line, taking advantage of the fact his defender doesn't really see a huge amount of movement downfield, so wants to get it free to the reset. And now they've got McGee in plenty of space. Gets the mark to take a huge monster munch out of that one, and then just pops it over him. Cool as you like. Nolte, perhaps maybe was looking for the offhand for a little bit there. Doesn't come. Attack towards the far side. Still not in the end zone just yet. But the dish to Nolte will tie us up at 3 apiece.
There was some really nice switching defense going on there from the Finns. Mark switching to block out up the line cuts, but in the end, in those small tight spaces, just weren't able to get a body in between. So we'll...
Yeah, there's been some of the sand gremlins this morning, but you just got a nice little close-up of Kevin Cale's face there.
Out the technical difficulties this morning. If you are enjoying our coverage, if you've enjoyed it so far, please do like, comment and subscribe if you have not already, and ring the little bell icon to be notified every time we go live with more ultimate content.
You sound like a verified YouTuber.
Aha, if only.
Rather you than me. Yeah, as Ali mentioned, it's been a little bit frantic this morning on our end, but we appreciate everyone for hanging around while we I kind of went back to my live tweeting roots in the chat. Ali, you went live on Facebook Live as well. A couple of the points. It was a little bit like the olden days.
Yeah, back in the days of no funding.
All the fun, but no funding.
There we go. So both teams now even, 3 points each.
But Finland are that break up, and that ball is going to be out the back of the end zone. So someone had their Weetabix this morning, and it's going to be not Michael Hastebacker. He's going to leave it for Timo Vasquio.
Timo Vasquio, very familiar with some of these Merica players, having played the US Grandmaster Nats with the San Francisco Relics several years ago.
Yeah, another medal to add to his glittering collection over a long and storied career. Vasquio waits for Aribo to come underneath, turns, pivots, cranks the arm, powers it deep, right on the money for Jari Koivisto.
And what an absolutely stellar put. There are some hucks which just perfectly float over the receiver, over the defender. Not a chance to get it. It's just too high, but then perfectly sinks down into the receiver's hands.
This is the advantage of kind of having that extra reach that you get with a player as tall as Tapio Arimo, is that he's pivoting out really wide for that mark for the throw. The mark can't get out there across. Evidently there is the little dials that power the replays, the sounds kind of stuffing that getting there. It's a bit like a record scratch going back and forth. We will try and sort that out for you, but trust us, it was really nice to watch, and I'm sure you can watch, when this is all finished and we can watch it back on demand, you can replay that over and over to your heart's content, because all of the footage that OTTV films goes out live for free here on our YouTube channel, and then we upload the videos on demand afterwards, and there's no paywalls, so you can continue to watch them for free at your leisure.
If you would like to help us keep Ultimate free, why not support us on our Patreon? Links are in the description.
Yeah, I know how frustrating it is when, even though we're providing a free service, it is frustrating when we have technical problems and things don't go out on time. So if everyone was just able to contribute a couple of dollary dues, I think is the technical term.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, into the Patreon, then we could, bring you more and better coverage, and hopefully we can put up little signs to stop the sand monsters getting in, which I'm sure that they would read. So Merica coming back out on offense now. Here is Russell. Goes to Lawrence. Low throw to the captain, Dan Powers. Powers, Fjellstad. And Fjellstad.
Speed mismatch for some of the players there. It looked like Kusanen was really trying to follow a player deep, but didn't make length, perhaps.
Reminds me of quite a Japanese throwing a score. You're throwing it deep because that's where the player is. And rather than kind of thinking, we've got to get it in the end zone, you're just throwing it, leading them into space and making... On a high stall, hammer over the top, brilliant snag from Timo Vaskio. I wouldn't have expected anything else. Manninen pops to Vaskio, just about gets that past the bidding American defender, finds a receiver in the end zone. Juhani Ristaniemi. Finns still trading up in this game. A break to the good. That is 5-4 now to Team Finland. Merica, I don't think they're expecting Team Finland to come out with this sort of ferocity.
Yeah, definitely, and especially when you look at the size of the roster. I know we've said this already for Finland. You would expect at the end of a 4-day tournament, or near the end of a 4-day tournament, for the legs to be really quite tired and mentally to be tired as well.
Especially on the beach. Especially
on the beach, as you say. And Merica, with their whole extra line, perhaps thought that they could outrun the Finns in this game, but so...
Fantastic bid there from de Frondeville, because not only did he swoop in to get the disc away, also did so without creating, or well, with creating minimal contact. Manninen with a huge hammer, but there's no one anywhere close to it. As the hooter goes for time. See that again on the replay. Thinks about it and just lozes it deep, but way out of reach. And America even further now, currently up 10-7. High release into the middle. From Mark McGee. Mark McGee looks and just about squeezes one through to Dawson, past the bid of Vaskio. And now Dawson takes off deep, but that one is too far out in front, and the Finns will get the disc back. Manninen on the underneath pass, the bid comes through, and Thomas Glass shatters the Finnish hopes. Here's Lawrence looking around the end zone, just dishing it back to de Frondeville. Not really seeing it, goes for the hammer over the top to the back corner. Well, toes it in, but I don't think he needed to. He was in plenty of space anyway. Not sure that Merica will mind. That'll make it 11-7 in a game to 12. I think it is Dawson in his own inimitable style with the goal.
And the Finns have a high mountain to climb, a tough battle to face if they want to come back and beat this American side.
I think maybe now we're seeing the effects of having the shorter roster, because it's just getting a little bit more difficult for to get free, to find the execution on the throws for Team Finland. But America, they can just send out more and more fresh legs out there.
Yes, and as we've seen, there are some height mismatches for Team Finland. Obviously, Arimo is very tall, but it does seem like the average height and the average wingspan for the Team Merica side is maybe just a little bit higher than the Finns, allowing them to get some of these Ds.
It certainly does not hurt.
No, definitely not. But also, the Team Merica defense has just been so fiery and egged on by their sideline, who are very vocal and I would say aggressive, not in a bad way, but galvanizing their players to really stick on defense.
Yeah, it's the sideline are not afraid to necessarily get on their teammates' backs if they feel that encouragement will help. Toiviko to Arimo. Arimo. This one is going to float a little bit, but it is plucked with relative nonchalance from Sharanta. Continuation to the middle, goes to the floor. Kale now has the disc with a chance to seal a berth in the final.
Just bounced out of the hands of Kuusinen there.
Kale for the win, not quite. Just hit the sand. I mean, half a second before the receiver could get there. It's Brit attack. Arimo looking around, but you can see there's not the most movement downfield from the Finns. Clearly a little bit jaded, and just hanging back a brief second allows Aaron Brown with a huge layout to get it. Scuba for the win, not quite there. Attack looks frustrated because it would have been a sensational way to seal this semi-final.
I think the Americans are just potentially a little bit trigger happy towards that end zone at the moment, but you can see what having three lines can do to your determination of just absolutely wanting to get every bid and try and intercept every disc.
So 11-7 is the current score to Merica. Game to 12 as Arimo with the deep put, but it's underdone. And it is greedily smuggled away by the Merica defense. Here's Kale faking, manipulating the mark, going back to Dan Powers, who is, for this weekend, or this week, Captain Merica.
Very nice.
Yeah, not bad. Here's Powers, going low, going high, getting shot at. It's Hacebacker committing, and the cut to the front coming from Aaron Brown. Gets the score, and that is a place in the final for Merica with a 12-7 win.
Gosh, that felt a bit like a universe point, didn't it?
There was certainly had that sort of energy and intensity to it, and full credit to Team Finland because they really scared this Merica team. I mean, for the first half or so, arguably the Finns were the better side, but full credit to Merica because they had that mental fortitude, didn't get too disheartened. They knew that they had to turn it up a gear, and full credit to them because they did.
It's actually something that happens a lot across all divisions and across all ages for American teams, both club and international, is that their first half isn't necessarily as strong as everyone thinks, and maybe they give up a few breaks, maybe they even don't take half, but they have the experience and they have the coaching and that sideline presence to say, this is what the team is doing, this is what we need to do, and they adapt and they just put their foot down on the pedal and don't let up.
Yeah, maybe it's an element of that thing that they don't know when they're beaten, which is good, because if you never accept that you've lost, well then you can always still got the chance to win.
Yes, I think maybe in the American military policy that hasn't always been the best thing for them, but certainly it helps them on the frisbee field.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's good for Game 1 here on Ulti TV. Coverage of the last day, finals day, here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships from the sands of Villa Seamus. Sorry, I nearly got that wrong. Sands of Villa Seamus in the southeast of Sardinia. Apologies to everyone watching on the YouTube link. Did have some technical difficulties in that game. Hopefully we can probably get those ironed out in time for our second semi-final, which is Germany's Young Legends taking on another American team in man down, and we hope you will join us for that at 11 o'clock local time. So that is in about 35-40 minutes time. But that will wrap us up here for game one. Thank you very much to all our team here at Ulti TV, for all our everyone getting involved on YouTube, for all our patrons, whether that's at the lowest tier all the way up to our ultimate producers like Patrick from Madx or Stephen Cameron from Cameron & Co. Architecture? Yeah, sure. Well, that's when you make buildings out of fabrics. Architecture. All of your support means a huge amount, and if you also want to contribute to help improve the depth and quality of our coverage, maybe put up maybe find a way that we can get the sand out of the system, like one of those like little dustbuster hoovers.
Oh, yes.
Whatever it is. We really appreciate any support you can give to make what we think is phenomenal coverage even better. You can find the details to our Patreon in the description of our YouTube videos, or you can find more information about exactly what we do, both here in Europe, Australia and worldwide at www.ulti.tv as the helicopter comes flying low overhead. That's going to wrap it up for game one. For Ali Thomas, I've been Benji Rees, and we will see you on the other side.